Okay, today we are down in the Meyerland area, I believe. I think this neighborhood's actually called Bondron Park or something, but doesn't matter. Somewhere down just inside the southwest corner of the Beltway. We've got bees going in here underneath the edge of this siding, and this looks like another one of those deals where they put vinyl over top of hardy or something else because the vinyl siding sticks out off the house. I'm thinking the bees are going in the floor joists, and so I'm going to go inside and feel around and see what I can find. Well, this one's got me stumped, folks. I thought, looking at this house, that maybe it had like a upstairs living space and that they were going to be in the floor joist between, but there's not. That's all wide open attic, which is nice because it makes it easy to walk around up there. But I got up there, and also this vinyl does not appear to be vinyl over hardy of some sort. Actually, I stood up in the attic. It was right behind that. I don't know if you guys can tell, those are vents, perforated vinyl. I was right behind those vents, and there's plywood. So I was up in the attic, no sign of bees in the attic anywhere at all. So I thought, well, they must be downstairs in the exterior wall. I felt all around on this wall, and I can't find any hot spots in the wall either. This bathroom window, inside there's about a foot, 14 inches, something like that, above the window. That I would think that's a perfect sort of spot that, you know, a contractor would just accidentally forget insulation. But there's no hot spot there. So, and there are some dead bees downstairs on the inside of the windowsill. So I'm going to go inside and cut a couple small holes in the drywall to try to see. I think that's the only place that they could possibly be. I'm just not sure where behind the drywall. So I'm going to go in and just cut a few small holes to try to figure out where bees start running out of the wall, and then we'll open it up from there. Okay, so here we are inside. And again, this is that same window, and actually if you watch, you'll occasionally see a bee fly up there by the window. This is that space above the window I was telling you about that might be a good spot to miss insulation. But I felt with my hand up there, I can't feel any hot spot. I can't feel any hot spot on this interior wall. I can't feel any hot spot over here on this interior wall. And those wires coming through, you'd think if there's bees, they'd be able to come through those wires in the wall. But I wiggled it around and I can see insulation behind those wires. This ceiling is directly below. Looking up in here, I'm looking into the attic. So there's no, it's not like a false ceiling and then with decking above it. I was up in the attic walking around on the floor joists. So they gotta be somewhere in this wall. I think that's the only spot I can think they would be. They may be between the brick and the exterior, the vapor barrier. It's really not common because that's a super narrow cavity, but they very well may be. But regardless, I think we're gonna get them from the inside. That's definitely gonna be the best and the easiest. So I'm gonna cut a few holes, just cut one up here, cut one up here, and just try to figure out where the bees are, where the nest is at, and then we'll expand it out from there to get everything exposed, and then we'll cut them out. Okay, I'm on to something. There's no bees that I actually see over here. I saw one go scampering away, but right there, all that kind of brownish, gooey looking crap, that's propolis. So I think they're just one more joist over inside the wall. So I'm gonna step over on the other side of this interior wall and cut open a hole over there. Hopefully they're not also expanded into this interior wall. It makes sense if they were, because you know there's no insulation in there, but oh, there's a bee. One crawling out to visit. So let me go over on the other side here and cut open on this next wall over and see what we find there. So we opened up over here on the other side of the wall, and I see more bees crawling around. If I can shine my light in there and let you guys see them as well. More bees crawling around, but still no comb. But I see here is our, oh, excuse me. Here is our vapor barrier behind the brick, and it feels nice and cozy warm. So I think they're just on the other side of that. I'm gonna go ahead and cut open this drywall, a big section, so that I can actually see to work, and then I'll cut open a little section of that vapor barrier and see what it looks like. There you go. Just opened up a window to their world. They're up here above it, so I'm gonna cut out the rest of this. And it looks like the nest maybe is going that way because this is a little scrap of honeycomb, but there's no bees on it, so it's something that's an edge of the hive of some sort. I can actually see daylight, but you see there's our brick right there, and at the top of our brick. So they're actually up above the brick. I'm still trying to figure it out, but they're somewhere right up in here. So I'm going to open up some more of this, see what we look like, and then open up the rest as needed to expose the whole nest. Okay, so there you go. Opened up the rest of that fireboard or foam board and whatever. And there's the rest of the nest. They're in a space that's just 2x4 wide between that and the exterior wall and this lower sort of studs. So when I was standing up in the attic, I was standing on top of them, up against that exterior wall. So I'm going to go ahead and cut open the rest of this wall here in the same fashion, and then I'm going to go over the other side and do it in the bathroom too until I get the whole nest opened up, and then I'll show it to you once I think I've got the whole thing exposed. Okay, so we got the nest opened up, and you have to forgive me, I already got the vac going, but here we are above the window. That's basically the left-hand end of the nest. Come all the way across here, step over into the next room, goes all the way across here, step over into the next room, and the comb is pretty well end right there behind that fiberboard, and then the bees are still just clustered up over here looking for space. So I think that's the extent of it, but right now I just fired up the vac. I'm going to vacuum up as much as I can first, and then go to work on cutting combs. So just a little update. I've been at it for about an hour, I suppose, and got everything out over here above the bathroom window. It took a lot longer than you'd think because of all those little vertical studs there and cross braces, which made it difficult to get in there and cut out each individual comb. I've still got to go back through and scrape it clean. But I got all that out behind this wall over to there, as you can see. And so now we've got, so I can get my light right. Now we've got just this chunk right in here is all that's left. That's mostly all honey in the front. I think there might be a little bit of brood nest comb back in the back there. But actually I have yet to find any sign of any brood. So these girls are either queenless or they've got a virgin queen somewhere. I found some older queen cells that look like they've been mostly torn down. So I don't know if they swarmed and then the new queen didn't stick, or if there's a virgin running around somewhere and she just hasn't started laying yet. But not too bad. I took a couple stings here and there. I don't know, maybe half a dozen or 10, I don't know. But not like horribly aggressive. I'm working without my suit on, so they're doing just fine from that aspect. We're going to go ahead and try to start working on this end now, cutting this honey, and working my way back across to where all I'm left is with this little chunk. And then hopefully that'll be all the bees centralized. I haven't been looking for the queen really. I've been shoving my hose up behind there and vacuuming as much as I can. So hopefully if she's there, I've already got her by default, or I'll catch her in a little bit. We'll see. Alrighty, we got it all out. Let me see if I can get a light on here for you. They were definitely queenless. I didn't find any sign of eggs, cat brood, larva, nothing. And that was part of their attitude problem too. They were real disoriented since they were queenless. They weren't aggressive, but they didn't have any direction. So every time I'd smoke them just a little bit, man, they'd go bonkers. And so actually towards the end, I was really trying to avoid using my smoke at all because it would make them go crazy and they would all start crawling all over me and hit me in the face and everything else. So anyway, same old story. Over here, there was really nothing you could see, but I had to cut that spot just to get them all out. This is where the bulk of the nest all was, right in here, of course, right? They'll put it in behind 6 pipes and everything else. And then the rest of it was over here above the window. But I got it all out. You can see there's still lots of bees crawling around, flying against the windows. Probably about 1,000 bees in here. And then out in the other room, maybe another 1,000 out here on this window. But that's just the way it goes. I mean, I could stay here all evening until it was dark vacuuming bees, and they would just keep coming in through the crack outside and piling up on the windows. So kind of the sad reality of it is I'm not going to get them all. But I've got about 5 pounds of bees out here. I'll show you that I sucked up. So yeah, 5 pounds of queenless bees. What am I going to do with these? Well, I got a little bitty hive at home that's got a queen and not many bees, so she's going to get an upgrade. But, well, you can even see them. They pretty well got that package box packed full. Some of them are propped up on top of it fanning. I don't know why, because at least if there's a queen, she was doing a real good job of not doing her job, because, like I said, no sign of a queen at all. I found, like I said, I found those couple of queen cells. It looked like they maybe emerged this spring, maybe a couple weeks ago, and then they just kind of rounded them off. They hadn't really torn them down. But anyway, yeah, about 5 pounds of bees. That's going to put you in the 20,000 pound range somewhere, or 20,000 bee range somewhere in there, so that's good. And a lot of buckets full of random scraps of honey and comb and everything else. I got some robbing going on out here because I had a scrap of comb sitting there. I had real bad robbers on it. Shook all them off and then threw the comb in the bucket, snapped the lid on. They kind of left it alone. But anyway, I'm not going to be able to do anything with them tonight because by the time I get home, I think it's going to be too dark. But I'll come out first thing tomorrow morning. And like I said, I'm going to give that little bitty hive that I've got a bit of an upgrade. And I'll get into it, I'll cage the queen, and then introduce all these bees and make one big happy family, ideally. So yeah, that's it for this one. I'm going to get my buckets and everything picked up, packed up, put in the back of the truck, and get this place locked back up, and I'm out of here.